at the door. 4 wins on the season now. Could he grab a couple more? Playoffs in the distance, glowing like a neon sign. 3 wins in a row, is his destiny or just divine? The league is shaking, standings breaking, chaos swirling in the sky. Week 10 hit like a hurricane, oh my, oh my, oh my. Week 10 was a war zone, nobody was safe. Kings held their throne, legends fell from grace. But still the rulers, our storm still strong. And a crashed out hard, what the hell went wrong? John keeps winning, Ben keeps grinning. Will says, hey boys, the climb's beginning. Playoffs on the horizon, just starting to grow. Week 10, buckle up now, bring a week 11 show. Yeah, now bring a week 11 show. Sean destroyed Jeremy, left no doubt at all. Highest score of the week, man, he answered the call. Jeremy sat watching like a kid at a show. Sean said, keep trying, little bro, someday you'll grow. Adam, oh Adam, what happened to your fire? Once undefeated, now your team's become tired. 88 points, man, that's rough to see. From powerhouse heights to playoff jeopardy. Des, hello, are you alive? Someone check the milk carton, see if he survived. Jake beat him in a matchup uglier than sin. 2 teams trying to lose, but Jake somehow found the win. Next year, boys, start studying early, cause this season has gone real surly. John beat Jay, and to let you know, he's switching team is greatness, and it's us that blow. Chase a new win, 1 week, call the next. If he keeps this up, he'll be playoff hex. We'll beat it, man, it's up fast. Hot start, cold finish, the slump might last. You inspire greatness, 4 strings from his tongue. As he rallies around him to feeling the love. 1 game out, is this fate, is Will about to dominate? Ben beat John, Tran, you face and beware. If the bench locks down like a steel jaw stare. 7 wins now, climbing up the board. Hey, yo, pretty, win is a win and let it soar. Town shredding fast, but hope still stays. Needs a miracle run these final weeks of play. Week 10 was a war zone, nobody was safe. Ring kept his crown, that icy gray. So kicks in it, air in his eyes. Unremembering, no way. Everybody's a sitting, the scramble begins. Who's sticking in the playoff, who never wins? Will's heating up, 3 straight on the go. Week 10 to the boom, now bring on week 11 show. Yeah, now bring on week 11 show. Quinn versus Ben this week, oh baby, what a thrill. Is this a playoff preview or another Clint kill? Can Ben pull the upset? Will the kingdom fall? Week 11's coming, guys! Answer the call! Answer the call! Good luck to everyone, but not you, Sean, bro, we hope you stall! And John, just a reminder, your team still sucks.
And just like that, we're on to week 11 and our latest video here predicting who's going to win here as we enter into our new week. So that's right. That means what? 10 weeks down. So Ian, if you're out there, you're doing the math right. That's 4 weeks to go of our regular season. So, but before we start talking week 11, why don't we, recap what happened in week 10, shall we? So some highlights. Let's move down to it. Probably the number one thing to talk about is Will. He keeps winning. 4-6. It doesn't seem that long ago that we were making fun of him for not having any wins, or maybe it was 1 win. And if I remember right, we dedicated a whole ending of a video to Will with an AI created song, just pretty much of his whole season, that just said, really, Will, you've got nothing to play for. And here we are at 4-6, and he's only one game out. We'll talk about that here when we look at the rankings, but Will's now back. So yeah, there's that. That's the number one highlight. The next one was Sean, Jeremy didn't live up to hype at all. Sean just dominated poor Jeremy. But here's what's funny, right? Let's look at the scores. Sean scored 181 points. Oh yeah, by far the most of the week, and I didn't track it down. He's also scored high other weeks, so I don't know if that's the highest of the year. I don't care. All we know as of right now was he beat Jeremy, right? Jeremy scored 136. Let's look at the other points for the. Yeah, that sucks. So Jeremy scored the second highest point total of the week. He would have beaten anybody else, right? But of course, he didn't play anybody else. He played Sean. And it wasn't enough to beat Sean. So there you go. Sean with another win. And then just kind of towards the end here to highlight Clint, myself, John, keep winning. Those that are at the top of the bracket, the top of the playoffs, top of the rankings as of right now, like we just keep winning, which makes it tough for multiple teams to move up and make it into that playoff bracket. So, but before we talk about playoff brackets and rankings and so on, let's talk about how I did in my predictions last week. So, I got a few wrong. I picked Adam to beat Clint as of last week. And not only did that not happen, it wasn't even close. And Adam, I know the song made fun of you a little bit here in the intro song. And man, 88 points. Ouch. I said this was a must win for Adam, to try to fend off Will. And nope. Adam decided, hey, I'm going to make it actually more interesting. Let's have some fun. Let's give Will a chance in the loss. And Clint stays our number one and dominated in the week. So in another matchup I got wrong, I picked Jeremy to upset Sean. Again, right? We just talked about it. Jeremy scored a lot of points. He would have beaten any other team. Just unfortunately, he played Sean, and we can click on it, right? I mean, Gibbs 38, Taylor 49. You don't even need to look at anybody else. You add up those points. That's a lot of points right there between two players. That definitely helped Sean, which we all know, right? I hate to say it, but playoff favorite, just based on right there, the performance of his running backs. And actually, he has a very, very strong team. So, again, another one that I got wrong. So, I was 0-2 after the first two. But the good news is I got all the rest right. So, I picked Jake over Dez. That matchup was ugly, to say the least. And both teams didn't even score 100. But Jake did win. I picked John over Jay. I said Jay just had too many, bye weeks to deal with. And I think I held true. John got the win. I picked Will over Ian, said Will was going to keep his win streak up, and he did. And then I said myself was going to beat Josh here, and that held true too. And I know the intro song, we put it in there a little bit that, when you play me, you don't score many points. Call it my defense, call it whatever you want. A win's a win. Take it at 7-3, which makes doing these videos a hell of a lot more fun, right? When you're 7-3, and right now you're in playoff position. So there you go. That's how I finished. I finished 4-2. So rankings. Let's take a look at those. We all know, right? Clint still number one. Sean right behind him, number 2. Strong. I know it doesn't say it on here, but if you check your mobile app, if I remember right, Clint already has that little check mark by him that says he's already in the playoffs. We pretty much, I guess it's not for certain, but I will say Sean's also in the playoffs. We pretty much said that 8 wins should for sure be in the playoffs. But of course, we all know they're fighting for something more than just being into the playoffs. They're fighting for that number 1 spot, that payout. But of course, trying to be number 1 and number 2, so you get those bye weeks going into the playoffs. So number 3, number 4, John and I sitting at 7-3, and then it gets fun beyond there, right? You've got Jay at 6-4. Adam at 5-5. Right now, that's our playoff teams, our top 6. But right behind him was Will and that win streak. I know it doesn't show it on here. The win streaks, the mobile app does show it, but I believe it's 3 in a row for Will. Move it up, and he's really only a game, behind now. And Jay's also making it interesting. Jay loses this week, Adam loses this week. Will wins this week, like there's a good chance. Will closer to making the playoffs. So behind that though, and again, it's not for sure. Even Dez, I mean, 8 losses. Even we've done the review right. In the past history, it says 8 losses, you don't make the playoffs, but you never know. But you're still fighting for something. You're fighting for pride. You're fighting for next year, whatever it may be. And remember, for those teams that don't make the playoffs, right, you still have that round robin, consolation bracket, losers bracket, lovers bracket, whatever you want to call it. You're still playing for seeding when it comes to the draft, for next year. So, and then we have 4 teams at 3-7. So Jeremy, Jake, Josh, and Ian. Not saying your season's over, but man, you've got, not only do you have to win out from here, but you also have to score a ton of points. So there you go. There's what we're looking at. So playoff, feeling good about the playoffs. I say right now would be Clint, Sean, John, and myself. Sitting comfortable. Jay maybe based on how the next few games go, but below that, like right now, Adam's probably sweating it, knowing that Will's right on his heels and he can't afford another loss. So, all right, let's jump in, shall we? Let's predict Week 11. We just talked about teams that needed wins and are holding on to those playoff spots, and let's talk about that. So, number one matchup we're going to talk about here: Josh versus Adam. We just said this is a must win for Adam. He needs this. He's 5-5. He's holding off Will. He's projected to win by a good amount. I think that holds true. Adam gets the win this week and unfortunately crushes Josh's hopes of making the playoffs. Next, Jeremy versus Dez. Already a landslide based on the projections. I know Jeremy already benefited from the Thursday night game, having Henderson score 32 points. That definitely helps. I think that's going to allow Jeremy to easily cruise to get the win here and keep his playoff hopes somewhat still alive. Next, Jake. Oh, Jake, could he take down Sean? This would be one hell of an upset. Would shake things up in our rankings. Would give Jake still hope to make the playoffs, but no, that's not going to happen. No, I don't see a scenario where Jake scores enough points to beat Sean. I could see where Sean doesn't score 181 points this week, maybe even score closer to what it says he's projected to score, but that'll still be enough, unfortunately, to win and to beat Jake. Ian, John, close matchup. I do feel. John, 15 points for May, not stellar. I'm giving the win this week to Ian. I know, John, I've picked you to win, I think, the last couple of weeks, and it's held true. But this week, I'm going against you. Ian, I've got faith in you, man. You've got this win. And boy, do you need this. You can't lose anymore, so you need this win. So we'll say Ian gets the win against John here. So Jay versus Will. Tough matchup. Very, very close. We all know where Will's sitting. Like, he can't lose anymore. Jay wants to stop the bleeding. He doesn't want another loss. But I'm going to say Will keeps rolling. Will, I'm behind you, man. You get this win. That would put you at 5-6. I picked Adam to win, but let's say he doesn't win. That would put you, same record as him and right there in playoff position with a few weeks to go. So, and then really the matchup of the week, right? We've got myself versus Clint, which is team number 4 versus number 1. And I went back and forth on this thinking about, do I pick Clint to try to, I don't know, is it the kiss of death? Does it help me win? When I go against myself, does it help me win? It doesn't really matter. I know in the long run, if I ever pulled all the research and looked at it, no one really cares. It doesn't matter. Just pick who you think's going to win, damn it. So I will. And I think it's going to be me. I do think I'm going to upset Clint. I know with having Diggs already, having a good start, it doesn't even the score so far, but it brings me closer. And I don't know. I think it's going to happen, Clint. I think you're going down this week, which would be crazy, right? Because then, I picked John to lose, myself to win. That would move me up into the 3rd spot. I picked Sean to win. So Sean would take back over number 1 and Clint would fall to number 2. Just chaos would happen. I think if win, I end up beating Clint this week. So there you go. There's our winners. If you want to recap them, we've got Adam, Jeremy, Sean, Ian, Will, and myself. So there you have it. Good recap here of week 10 and talking a little bit about, what week 11 is going to look like. So excited to start the new week, even though Thursday already brought some good times for a few of us, right? Jeremy and myself had good starts based on what happened already on Thursday. But of course, the real action here starts on Sunday tomorrow. So good luck to everyone, as we always say, but Sean.
Week 10 was a war zone. Nobody was safe. Ring kept his crown that icy gray. So kicks in it, air in his eyes. Unremembering, no segue. Everything's a sentence, the scramble begins. Who's sticking in the play or who never wins? Will's heating up, 3 straight on the go. Week 10 to the boom. Now bring on week 11 show. Yeah, now bring on week 11 show. Quinn versus Ben this week, oh baby, what a thrill. Is this a playoff preview or another Clint kill? Can Ben pull the upset? Will the kingdom fall? Week 11's coming. Guys, answer the call. Answer the call. Good luck to everyone, but not you, Sean, bro. We hope you stall. And John, just a reminder.